Okay, let me make another video. Let's do it live. Fuck it. We'll do it live. We're gonna do this live. So I've been watching quite a few. I've been watching videos from this channel and this person on other channels as well. Been quite what do I say? Here's another one, which is, I think it's on YouTube as well. It's on Rumble. That's where I watched it. I think you can find it on YouTube. Anyway, so yeah, it's this idea of our it's the idea of living in a simulation, an engineered reality, designing like a place, like if you look like the Truman Show, think of the Truman Show or the Matrix. So it's like the idea that there are controllers behind the scenes orchestrating a life experience. And yeah, that's very interesting. There's another video I watched, which here's another one where at one point in the video they were talking about the moon, right? Here's another video. I don't have the timestamp, but they were talking about, is the moon a planet, or is it some kind of plasma? I don't know if that's exactly what they said, but the idea is that the moon may be some kind of technology used to suppress human perception, limiting us to 5 senses, diminishing our telepathic abilities. And it's like a frequency system. I think this idea of the moon, like this is idea that the reptilians are using technology to suppress us. I had a bad, I had a waking nightmare about the moon. I don't know, maybe a few months ago. The nightmare, It was like what was this? I was taking a nap in the evening. It's always in the evening, in the naps, these things come to me. In the nightmare, the moon was like, so the moon was rushing towards the earth, and it was going to crash into the earth, and we only had like seconds, right? It's like this event started, and it's like it was happening so quickly, right? Like no one had any time to think. Like it was just panic, it was just terror, because there's nothing you could do. There was absolutely nothing you could do. So all of the history of human life on this planet, all those thousands of years, maybe more, definitely more, and all of the dreams of individual human beings, all our plans for the future, all our worries and anxieties, all of that, nothing mattered, because in those terrifying seconds, the moon was just rushing towards you, and you couldn't even think that the end of everything as we, within the human earth perspective, it was all going to be destroyed. The moon was, and the sense of this terror, like it was so quick, like there wasn't any time to process. So there was just sheer terror, like this impending doom. And then a few days later, when I was out in the backyard and I looked up at the sky and I saw a full moon, and I'm like, oh my god, there's the moon again. I have very bad feelings about the moon. I think there are some dark forces on the moon. And maybe there might be other, there have been lots of people have spoken about bases on the moon, how NASA has photographs and they manipulated the photographs to get, brush out bases on the moon and stuff. And people have spoken about how the moon is an artificial thing, satellite brought here. Once you control gravity, you can take anything, a planet, a star, you can move it. I think the way some of these UFOs move is they control gravity, and it's like all you need is a very little amount of energy to control gravity. So it's like you can take the moon and you can move the moon using incredibly small amounts of energy. I think that's how this thing works. Because when you look into the 0-point field, they're like, when you split the atom, you get enormous amounts of energy. Imagine if you can take all of that energy and direct it to create some kind of a force. But I don't think that's how gravity works. I think there's a different system. I think it has to do with electricity. I think you manipulate electricity, control gravity, yeah, very little amount of input creating a huge output. Like that's my speculation, but anyway. So yeah, are we living in a simulation? A simulation. Are aliens and humans controlling our subconscious through psychic attacks, thought projections. I mean, this is. I want to introduce this idea of glitches in the matrix. If you think of the matrix as if the matrix is perceived as 3D reality, five senses, matter, energy, what are some of the glitches in the matrix that well, I suggest remote viewing, past life memories, near-death experiences, UFOs, aliens, the very existence of consciousness. Materialistic view of the world. I want to just moon plasma. I saw a video. This guy talked about the moon be. Yeah, this is a very old. In 1965, this scientist thought the moon was a plasma. Is the moon see, that idea seems so absurd. It seems so absurd, but if we live in a simulation, right? What if our perceptions are so severely manipulated? Not only are our governments trying to control our perceptions through the media and politics and all of that, but there is an even more deeper level of control through our dreams. What if there are intelligences that live in these psychic realms in another dimension of reality, and they can control our dreams? Like when we sleep, what happens to us when we sleep? What happens there? I feel that reality, the more deeper aspects of it, is more like a dream. And you know, that's something this person mentions as well. And I think the Aborigines in Australia, they have this thing called a dream time. I think they might have interacted with aliens, and anyway, like reality is the mind of God, and thoughts create our experiences. Everything is fluid, whereas in this, when we are put in these bodies, everything seems rigid, solid, but the actual reality might be much more fluid. It's like our thoughts, our dreams, our experiences, that might be the reality. And we are living in a matrix, and the matrix makes everything seem solid. I mean, it is very difficult to conceive of this, but what if that is the trap? And what if, like, here's another video which I thought was very interesting. Where's this? It's a. Wait, here's one. The idea that we're on a prison planet, and then the aliens are. The idea that we are is bees. And that's what this Courtney Brown, this Far Sight Institute remote viewer, calls us isbees, because we what are we are, our nature is like, we are just is, it's our nature, and we simply exist. You know, we're not here to do anything. We don't do anything. Our existence is as these souls, or he doesn't use the word soul, but the way I perceive it is like we're just like conscious entities that simply exist for the sake of existing. We're not here to do anything. And the idea is that in order to animate bodies, you need an isbee. You take an isbee who may be from another planet and put them into bodies, these DNA bodies, to animate the bodies, and then use us as slaves, as mercenaries and stuff. So this Earth is like a prison planet, and these aliens from the Orion system, they took over the Earth, and it's like there's got some kind of a frequency fence, a death trap, where even if you die, they will grab you and put you back into another body. You know, imagine that. Like, then an isbee can never die. An isbee can never die. So they recycle us back into different bodies. And what if that's true? What if that is true? You know, what if these are the hidden truths that mainstream, like the Matrix, the controllers don't want us to know? Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, things to think about.